Welcome back to Johnny Plays Golf channel today for a break par attempt, and this is at one of my favourite golf courses in the local area. This is Bingley St Ives, and it's only cost me 20 bish to play. Here we go on the first. Short par 4, very much drivable and only with a 3-wood. All you want to make sure you don't do is go right. Like anything right of this green may go OB. So you can see I've aimed left, hit it left, and that could go in the hole. I've even got some new graphics on the right hand side of the actual hole view from above. Hope you enjoy those. Here's Crenty, long birdie attempt after knifing his wedge. Huge slope. Wow. That's unbelievable. Glad I got that on camera. Look at his smug face. What a way to start for him. He's on cloud 9. This is for eagle then. Very naughty putt. Oh dear. Not really managed to replicate what Crenty did there. But still a birdie attempt. Wouldn't mind holing this one. Got to get off to a good start with a drivable par 4. Never mind. That's 3 whacks on the first and confidence in the toilet early doors. However, par 5 second hole. And it's not a long one, but it's uphill and it's into the wind. So a slugging driver up the left hand side. That's a bit too far left. Definitely scared of the OB on the right hand side. Don't want to go into the cow fields. And this is quite a long way in. That drive went nowhere. You can see my little icon on the left hand side of the right of the screen. That's a cold top though. Not making the most of this par 5 so far, and we still have 190 yards into the green here. And this is everything I've got with a 6 iron. Pin's on the left side, so just trying to draw one in. That looks nice. Probably got to go a bit though. That's frustrating. It rolled all the way up to the green and then rolled back down. Little up and D action. Hello. Chip in? No. Well, I played that hole like an absolute toilet and come away with a par, so we'll take those treats. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stick around till the end where you'll see the analysis of the round and my thoughts. Long par 4 here. Probably one of the most difficult holes on the golf course. OB right along with thick rough. And I've pumped that up the left and avoided both of those bunkers. Essentially just short of this second one. This is still a long way in. It's 165 yards up the hill to a back right pin. I've tried to hit a fade, don't have that in the locker and I just hit it straight. And now we have an enormous putt with about 20 million miles of break. This needs to get legs. And that is going to be a treacherous par look. It's only 5 feet, but there's probably 6 to 7 inches of break on this from left to right. And nobody likes that as a right-hander, but I've poured it in. Big puff of the cheeks, love that. And onto the picturesque 4th hole. A very much downhill par 3, so it probably plays 20 less than the yardage, so this is just a wedge. Nothing to be said for left because of all the trees. Bunkers short, left and right, and that could go in the hole. Got on my tippy toes to see where that's ended up, but it's 3 feet away. Crenty languishing in the thick rough somewhere nowhere near the hole, as I've somehow managed to miss my birdie attempt, which turned a lot more than I thought, which is a bit annoying. But 4 holes in, steady par start, and this looks like a long hole. It's 443 yards, but it's straight downhill and downwind, so we can open the taps here. I've leaked that one a tiny bit right, and it's probably going to miss the fairway, but I've got at least 300 yards out of that. So we literally only have 130 in here. Downhill again, downwind, so this is just a gap wedge, looking to hit a 120 shot. Don't want to go right. Don't know why I said that, because of course I've gone right, and this is probably dead. Short-sided myself. Thought I was longer than I was, so it's actually not too bad, but I'm in an iffy lie. Got to bump this into the bank and hope. Did a lot of those things, left it a little bit short, but we've got a makeable attempt at par here. Would take this all day, probably not after the tee shot, but it's in. Bit of a premature par, but yes, still level. Now this is a tough hole, it's not a long one, but it's a dogleg right to left as you can see on the graphic. You just want to sort of hit a fade off these trees, which I've failed miserably at. And hitting the ball way too straight, which normally doesn't sound bad, but for me it is. And look where I've ended up, I've whacked a tree so my ball's all yellow and I've got no shot. So I've just dumped that out to the side back into play with a 9-iron, and we're going to have to try and scramble for a par here. 90 yards to this flag, fairly accessible, just going to go straight at it. 56 degree sand wedge, tugged it a tiny bit so it's gone a bit long, and we're going to have quite a long putt to save our par here. So this is downhill and left to right, and quite honestly not the sort of one you'd be expecting to make, especially not me, because I'm trash at putting. But that's frustrating. Online all the way, but just left it a bit short, and that's the first bogey of the day. On to the 7th then, second par 3, slightly uphill, just a 9-iron. Pins on the left hand side with a gaping crevasse of a bunker, so you just want to be a bit right of it. Or at least I say that, and I've not listened to my own advice, and that's left. And it's actually turned out to be long, and this is dead. It's a hit and hope into the top of the bank. And I've actually overplayed that somehow, and it was nearly brilliant, but actually turns out it's awful. So I've now got a swinging downhill left to right putt, similar to what we had on the last, but from the fringe. And realistically, I'm just happy to get away with a 2 putt, which actually is a 1 putt, because I was on the fringe. So 2 bogeys in the row, and we could do with stopping the rot here. This is the beautiful 8th hole, one of my favourites on the course. Very, very tight tee shot though. Everything slopes left to right, so you have to be threading the eye of a needle here, otherwise you'll end up in the trees. And that's about as good as I'm going to do any day of the week. And that's straight down the middle, and we only have about 50 yards in, so you'd be hoping to nip this one close. A little 56 degree spinner, which I've tugged left. And unfortunately, that is nowhere near as close as we'd like, and yet again we have a left to right putt. Not really looking to make this, but it'd be nice. And yet again I've left it short. Head going flying backwards in dismay, and it's just a par, but we're off the bogey train, which is something. And on to the last. Hope you've been enjoying this. I love this course. Every tee shot seems so nice to look at, like tree lined. This is a par 5. And we should be tearing it up. Made an absolute horlicks of the first one, but not this time. This is bombed up the right edge of the fairway. Somehow there's a fire simmering on the right hand side. They must have got rid of one of the big bushes there. 200 yards to go. This is 5-iron. Pins at the back right, so probably not trying to get it all the way back there, but on the green would be good. I've nearly reached the green, and it's only going to be on the fringe, but this is a massive putt, and you'd love to just get up and down in 2 for a par, a birdie rather. 2 putts for birdie is the order of the day then. Gave that a smack, and as has been the case on every single hole, I'm still short, and this is 8 feet straight up the slope. That's god awful. What am I even thinking? Leaving a birdie putt short, so that's just a par for a +2 overall on the 9, and here comes the analysis. I suspect there's going to be another sea of red here. I've only hit 2 fairways. Some of those were in horrible places, so that wasn't good. Only 5 greens, no birdies is god awful. 7 pars, not bad. 2 bogeys, not me best. But I hope you've enjoyed the front 9. I'll see you next Tuesday for the back 9. Bye!